So it's not just the site that's got a new look. I've decided to go for one as well. My hair was a mess and it needed doing. Not the reason I'm talking to you today. This one's based a little bit on some off-the-air chat we was doing while we was recording the podcast, and wanted to speak a little bit about ADHD. Also came about because last night, me and my partner, we watched one of the old Louis Theroux documentaries where he's with medicated kids in America. I'd seen it before, but it hadn't really struck home with me, a lot of it. Lived with it. My brother's got ADHD, diagnosed, but my son now has it. My daughter's clearly got it. And over the past months, definitely the last couple of years, really, I've worked out that I've got ADHD. Never had it diagnosed. I was a kid of the 80s. You know, you was either odd or naughty or whatever. There was no ADHD. So yeah, I just got on with things. You just had to get on with things, and it's probably something that led to the bullying because I was a bit odd as a child. I obsessed over certain things. Absolute laser focus if it's something I enjoy. I remember when I was younger, not even really younger, I was probably into my late teens, getting a lecture off my nan because I was obsessed over something to do with football. And she called me out on an obsession, and it just didn't make sense to me. Why should that be a problem? It's looking back on a lot of things during my life. It's realising that that's ADHD and maybe some forms of autism as well. But I'm in the process now of trying to get that diagnosed, and it's not easy. It's not easy as an adult to get diagnosed. Speaking to a doctor to start with, and it was almost dismissed with you've got this far in life without a diagnosis. Are you sure? So I had to fill in a few different forms, a few questionnaires. Got some help with some of those because I'm blind to some of the aspects of my ADHD. I could be more ADD. I don't know. I can't classify it. You know, it's very hard to classify whether I'm ADHD, ADD, whether there's Asperger's or what that's there. All I know is there's one of them there. I look at my traits from when I was growing up even to now, and I can see a lot of it there. A reason this site exists really is because of ADHD. I skirted around the issue for a long time for getting this site set up, and it always found a distraction for something else or focus on something else. It was only when I really had to force myself to do it, I had to force myself to get something to get out of depression, that I went ahead and done it. And now I've got laser focus on this. And it's been really good for me to do this. Other things I've done, you know, whenever my son wants to try something, I'll dive headlong into it to let him try it. Same with my daughter. We go, if you want to try that, we will do it, and we will focus our energies on that. When they show any interest in, I don't know, it's like years ago, my son liked interest in Pokemon cards. So we spent on Pokemon cards because I wanted him to be happy. And I thought if he's going to do it, he's going to do it properly. But I struggle with a lot of things as well. I struggle when you hear me talk on the podcast, for example, when you see my reviews, when you see these, they're not scripted. I can't script these things. I can't sit there, create a basic script and stick to it without reading it because my mind will go off in many different directions. And I can't sit there reading a script because it would just be too robotic. And I can't do that. I'm not that sort of person. So, you know, these pauses, these moments here that you see in there, that's me trying to find the right words, trying to compartmentalise what words need to come out. And the reason for needing to get that particular sentence out. And what I find really frustrating, I found it now listening back to some of the podcasts, and these and the review I've done a video review for is I know what I want to say and I know the words to use, the more complicated words. But because there's a fight going on there in trying to then get something coherent to come out, I quite often speak in a more basic term. And for a long time, that whole idea of not having the external vocabulary to sound intelligent, combined with this accent as well, a strong Essex accent doesn't do much, in all fairness. But there you go. I'd much rather have a northern accent. I think that sounds much better for it. But anyway, that's me. I'm going off again. Where was I? Trying to find the right words. And often what happens when that fight goes on, I'm trying to get the sentence out. It's simpler words that win out that battle and they get out. And listening back to a podcast we recorded this week, and I spoke about Sunless Sea. I listened back to it and I described part of the end game state with it. And in my head, it made sense what I was saying. But when I listened back to it, it was pure gibberish. And Stu, bless him, I've asked him to cut that bit out because it just makes no sense. I try and leave as much in as I can, even if I'm stumbling over things. It has to stay in because if it gets cut or I edit these things too much, that's not the true self coming out. That's me trying to give a non-true view of what mental health is. And I can't always be happy. I'm not always going to be sad. There's so much in between. And it's the same with the ADHD. Part of me wants to suppress that and go, look, I can function normally. But I lack social skills. Majorly lack social skills. And I have done for many, many years. How I'm in a loving relationship with two wonderful kids, I have no idea. But I just can't do it. I find it very hard to form proper relationships in person. I run out of things to talk about because I focus my energies on things. I love video games. I love football. I love ice hockey. I love watching movies of all kinds of different genres. And other people don't. And a lot of people in the social circles that I use don't like that sort of thing as much as I do. So I lose things to chat about. I don't care about going down the pub. I don't watch soaps or a lot of the popular TV, and I just can't enjoy those conversations, and it makes me feel socially awkward. And my mic's in shot, and that's bugging me, so I'm just going to move that there like that. And it's weird. I don't even know what the point of this one is. It was just I knew I wanted to speak about how my brain works, how my ADHD is, despite not being diagnosed. For me, more than anything, if anyone gets anything out of this, that's all well and good. But it's for me. I'm touching my face. I know I shouldn't be touching my face, but I can't help it. The more I'm thinking about don't touch my face, I'm touching my face. I don't know why I'm talking about this in this way. I don't even know if there's a point. I don't even know what's gone on previous, as I've been saying. It's just verbal diarrhea, and that's what it feels like at the time, at the moment. I'm not looking at the camera properly. I'm not professional with this at all. I want to be, but this is what I'm doing, and I'm really struggling to think of the faults now. As you may have seen, when I've signed off from reviews from these things, and definitely the podcast, I can't have a sign off. I haven't got a catchphrase or anything like that. So I've lent into it. I've learned to lean into my ADHD. And I refer to it as ADHD. Again, it could be something else with me. One of the things that came out from this, I remember speaking to my mum about it when we looked at it, is not being diagnosed or not having the treatment or the Professional support, we'll say. I've always had support. My family have always been great around it. So I've always had the right support there that I need. What I've never had is a professional support, and that's lent itself maybe into a lot of my depressive moments that I've had, and has led me down dark paths because I've not known how to cope with certain feelings, certain breaks of logic. And it's the stuff, it's only since I've been dealing with it more with my son, and now I'm seeing it in my daughter. As someone who's now older, I'm finding it, I'm seeing it in myself, and I'm trying to find new ways to try and work around that logic and make sure that when things don't feel right, I can deal with them the right way. And don't get me wrong, I will still go if I'm in a down mood or I can't process something properly. I'm very difficult to talk to. I know I'm very difficult to talk to. And it, like I say, don't take it personally. I don't want people to take stuff like that personally. It's not on purpose. I'm not doing things because I want to offend you. And it's the last thing I ever want to do. I never want to offend. But there's always those arguments going on in my head. Again, I'm rambling. I'm now rambling. So, yeah, I suppose it's just an insight into how my brain works. Might give a decent insight for others who do have ADHD or struggle with these things on a day-to-day basis, that, yeah, I need to verbalise it, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to make it normal. I love my routine as well. I found myself now with Animal Crossing. The routine there really helps. I'll go in, I'll do maybe half an hour in the morning and I'll check back in later. But that routine of, I've got to go and do this, it's been brilliant. I've done 34 days straight in that game, I think, now. And yeah, it's a comfort. It's the same with playing Tetris. It's a comfort to me. And I'm finding a routine. I like that. But again, I'm waffling. I'm going to save more of that for another chat. And, why video games, I think, are really good for being able to help you break your brain open enough to be able to focus and refocus on what's important and things like that as well. So, yeah, no, honestly, thank you for listening or watching. Sorry if you do. Subscribe. The little things there. Don't even know if it's there. Little subscribe when you can, if you want to. And we've got our Discord channel. And if you want to see more of this, if you want to see me move away from the sofa and get the green screen, make it a bit more visually appealing, better quality, I don't know, then feel free. If you want to donate to our Patreon or Patreon, I never know which one it is, I'll say Patreon. If you want to donate to that, feel free. Nothing's gated. It's just if you like to donate. And yeah, until next time.